I believe in the power of God by Dr. Robert H. Bitzer. The individual triumphs through their reliance upon God as the inevitable power finding expression through them. Through a belief in the power of God, people have, throughout the ages, accomplished that which was seemingly impossible. People's belief in God did not change God, but provided the channels through which God could express himself in their individual lives. Our belief appropriates spiritual energy and applies the power to our specific need. But our belief must be consistent with the age in which we are living. God has never left himself without a witness, yet God has appeared to be different to people throughout the ages. Belief cannot be blind or unintelligent. To operate, it must have meaning to us. Jesus many times referred to the power of belief. So many times we subscribe to creeds that we have outgrown, or else read our own thought into the doctrine. But we live in an age in which each individual must know what they believe. I believe in the power of God because God is the creative presence within each person. I know that each individual who recognizes God indwelling them discovers a power that knows no limitation. We should not be afraid that our belief cannot withstand the times. Our belief should be sufficient for any situation which confronts us. If not, we should establish the belief that will create a sense of security. To believe that God is within must bring to each a sense of inner power. The presence of God gives an aliveness to everything that it touches. To become aware of the presence of God is to be moved by a tremendous force. No one can sense the power of God within them and remain impassioned or disinterested in life. The great prophets of God throughout all ages have been people that were moved by the force of God. To become aware of God is to be filled with a zeal to express God. The power of God sustains every thought in the conviction that God does triumph, and that malice, envy, jealousy, greed, and hatred must be destroyed from the face of the earth. This perception of God within prepares the individual for any demand that might be made upon them. The individual triumphs through their reliance upon God as the inevitable power finding expression through them. Of course, our intelligent concept of God as a living power prevents a fanatical, unbalanced emotional attempt to force the world to accept our idea of God. But it brings such a tremendous play of power into our individual affairs that our expression is balanced and stabilized. We cannot contemplate God within us and remain placid about problems. The perception of God within gives an immediate answer to any problem. We cannot grow panicky and fearful regarding our country or the world when we are steadfast in our God perception. We do not approach the indwelling God as though some great mystery were about to be revealed to us. The discovery of God in us should be as natural as breathing. Only when we recognize God as the life within us can we understand and appreciate God. God always speaks in a language understandable to humanity. God always expresses on the plane of our life experiences. For God is our life, to be lived now, where we are. Each person needs a positive realization of the abiding presence of God. Each thing that we do must be done in the full consciousness that God is the presence and the power. For God remains an abstraction until we express our God power. We should meditate in quietness until we experience an inner stillness, the Father within, or God in me. This inner calm will surely come when we think about it, anticipate it, and expect it. Once we become aware of this inner power, our thought can direct it into experiences. We think it into form through positive, definite ideas. For instance, to the idea of God in us, we add the concept of health. God in me, my perfect health now. We present the idea of our desired expression, whatever it may be, to this God power, just as we would bring a vessel to a fountain to be filled. Regardless of the measure, the greatness or smallness of the desire, the God power fills it. God is the power that fills every need. There is nothing mysterious in this process. It is in strict conformity with the law. But while God always expresses according to law, God is greater than the law through which he expresses. We need a deep realization of God as the presence within us, which knows all, is all power, and makes perfect our understanding. Then the law of God will operate automatically. We discover our God center and think as we want to express. As we maintain our desire in the conviction that God is the presence and the power within, the God power is released into our experience as we desire. As we believe that God is within, the power of God is always revealed. Whatever we need, God is all sufficient. The fundamental statements here will guide us so that we can formulate our own belief. For example, I believe in the power of God in me to bring joy, love, and abundance into my life. I believe that the power of God in me is greater than anything that can come to me. I believe in the power of God in me to meet every demand. I believe in the power of God in me to fulfill every purpose. I believe in the power of God in me to express harmony. I believe in the power of God in me to produce the right thought for the right expression. I believe in the power of God in me to establish my right place.